Go ahead. Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome everybody.
Right, it's bloody hot today, and I'm all wrapped up. I've got me out on everything because it gets so dusty when you turn in the workshop, especially my workshop because it's used a lot. Right, I've got to turn something today. The Canuba wax. Okay, you the last video done the Canuba wax. Well, here's mine. It's all solid in there, dried up. Okay, so it's gone hard. That's it. This is the next day, and it will pop out. Look, it's all loose in there anyway. So that's what I've got. Oh, I love the smell of it. Right, this one, it's a thin one. It's not a thick mix, but sometimes actually my last one is quite thick, and it's awkward to get in sometimes into places. So it's good to have thin ones, thick ones. You make what you want. It's your wax. So I'll break that up and I'll use some of that. I'll show you what this one is like. This mix is like a piece of wood. So let's do. I did say out of one of those bits of firewood I was going to cut it, which I did. I chopped it off there, and I'm going to turn a little coin dish or something, or key dish out of it, is what I said I would do. Right, I've done a circle so I know where the centre is, but I have got this bit that's split here, so I'm actually going to take that off with my skew, because right, that rest of that will turn off. I don't want that flying off at me, but the rest of it's all right. That'll be okay. Right, so I'm gonna mount it between the step centers, because I did say that's what I was going to do. Like I said, this ain't about what is being made. Don't think you're going to see some fantastic art piece here. You're not. I'm just giving you some ideas of cuts and things like that, how to use your tools, which a lot of people are learning and are sending lovely messages,
so
and
many
really appreciate it.
Lovely, yeah.
If you're not getting anything from it, then just go and find something else to watch. There you go. Right, I'm going to put that on. Well, you know, this is just out there to help people, all right? There's no
Rather than make your nasty comments.
There's no secrets. It's just to help you. If it helps you, then it helps you. Right, I'm putting it between step centers, and if it does sort of give a little spin, then we'll talk a little bit about what I said about that can help you to learn how to control your cuts and get good cuts. Okay, now we can use a variety of tools, and we will use a variety. Like I said, my way of a lot of people think all I do is use carbide. I don't. I use traditional tools for the majority of my turning. I do not have a problem. I have no problem using traditional tools. I can use any tool. I have no problem sharpening them. I give the advice for the carbide for people. I make carbide tools and sell them, so I teach people how to use them correctly and how to stop getting catches and tear out and things. That's what these videos are about, okay? But I do recommend you use all tools. Any tool you can use to turn wood with, learn to use it. It will benefit you in the long run. My Canuba wax. Right, now, I don't come out here pretending to be some biochemist or whatever. I'm not going to be dressed in some lovely white smock or bright orange smock and gloves on and paperwork everywhere and make out I'm something I'm not, okay? And it's just a load of bullshit. Look, at the end of the day, if you want to buy silicone molds, if you want to buy things, go out and put expensive stuff in, that's entirely what you want to do, okay? Cheap and simple. Beeswax pellets, Canuba wax flakes, makes you a block like that, old Tupperware tub, that's simple as that, okay? Done. And that will last for ages, okay? Like I said, I don't bother with molds and stuff, because for me, that's quite hard. I look stupid, didn't it? Because I was in the tub.
Where's your muscles?
Okay, it's just a simple case of you can't break it. See, that's how good this is. Shut up, you.
That toffee, isn't it?
A little tap. It is not toffee. A little tap with a Canuba wax separating tool.
Look at it, guys. Looks like toffee.
That's what that is. Right, and there you go. And I just break it into these pieces. Look, I've got a small piece, big piece, and that's it. And that is it, guys. Let's break that off. There you go. And I just break it up. I don't need it to be in some special little shape. It's it. And I know there's companies out there make it, and they say they got their special little bits that make it superb and all that. Do whatever. Right, if you want to make something cheap and easy and quick to use, there you go. Right, I'm going to get this turned to round. Now, like I say, my tools I would normally use would be a spindle gouge. I'm going to start off with a spindle gouge. And someone did actually ask a question about gouges. I did send you a message on that, about what gouges I recommend and things like that. And as I have said, I do find one of the best finish and quality ones are the Record Power ones. For the money, I think they're fantastic. And that's what all this is, a Record Power one. I've just put it in my own handle. Right, I'm going to start this up, make a few cuts.
I'm just going to put the light on.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of bits flying up. I'm just doing this for speed, okay? Now, there we go. We've got it slipping, okay? There, it's starting to slip. Right, now, you can hear it. The natural thing there now, and what you should do is just give your handle a little turn, okay? Tighten it up. But this is a good time to practice making your cut and coming around without it spinning. Now that'd be too big a cut, so we'll come in. Look, you can see. It'll be harder up here because it's got the diameter, so it's going to be harder to stop it from slowing. But this is where okay, and now the same. We take our carbide, our little 9mm box follower, and come in, and can we do it? Oh, it's trying to slow down, but hold on. And I'll just show you, if we come in flat and do this, we stop it straight away, okay? So you wouldn't be able to do this if you're scraping. And this is all it is to practice. Can you still get a cut and turn it down without it stopping? That's how it learns your tool control, okay? But the sensible thing is just give it another quarter of a turn, and then you can get in there and you can get stuck in. So as long as we keep our cuts as cuts and not scrapes, we won't dull our tool. And like I said, this is just a Record Power one. Like I said, this is just going to be a little coin disc. So it's not going to be deep. There, nice and shiny. Right, I'm only bothering to come up to here because I'm going to be taking that bottom off there. Right. Going to bring this in a bit, and right, that's going to be okay for bottom. Gonna have to get that small enough to fit inside my chuck, because that's going to be what I'm going to hold it with. This is the bottom of the bowl. So I'm just going to come in here, get my bevel like that. I'm cutting on this bit here. You can see where it's cutting. The grain's coming down and it's cutting on this bit here. I'm going to let that go off the end. I've got to tidy that up there. Okay, we've got a little bit here. We'll stop the handle down and we can blend that in. Okay, now if you're going to do it, I'll do that in a sec. If you're going to do it with your carbide, it's exactly the same thing. So you'll come in here, come around, come up here and just come around. Now look, see where the cutting is? It's just there, it's exactly the same place, okay? That's where the cutting is, look. There is no difference in that cut. Now, same there. Drop the handle down, come around. Right. Now the thing is, when you do that cut with a round cutter, you've got a very small area in contact, okay? When you do that cut with a spindle gouge, you've got a lot longer there that comes round in contact, okay? So the way we do it here, Buster, shush please. The way we do it here is to come round with the detail cutter, which gives you the same cut and gives you this lovely little angel hairs, okay? And that's how we finish it, come round. There we go. I ain't got to worry about this bit here because that's going to be taken down, okay? But that's how we do it. A push cut, even with the carbide and all that, is not a finished cut. As much as people might try to tell you it is, a push cut is not a finished cut because it will always give you the marks from the bevel. Well, I've got to get this down in here, so I'm going to be able to break it off. Remember, I can't move nothing away and do it because it's
held between centres.
It's held between centres. So I've just got to give it to enough. That's about enough. Okay, I'll come in there like so. Right, that's enough for me to knock that off afterwards. Okay. So I'm going to give a little bit of a sand on this bit, because we're going to be using our canoodle wax on it, on the outside. I'm not, as I said, I'm not worried about this. I'll just make it quick. I'm not worried about this top bit here because that I'm going to be taking down from this side, see? There we go. That's going to be the finish there. That's where the bowl's going to finish, at that height. Right, okay. I'll give a quick little sand. Oh, it's on, isn't it? Right, that's just a 180 grit. Do it nice and quick. Like I said, I'm only going to go to 240. I've done a 180. First one was a 180, this one's a 240. That's alright. Okay. Got that. Let's have a look what's there. Oh look. Nice finish, but it's not, we've got this dark bit on here, but there's the finish there. Okay. Very easy to get a nice finish on it. And that's it. So what I'm going to do for the moment, just so you can see it, I'm going to put a little bit of sanding sealer on that. Ugh, I wouldn't be finishing this at this point because I've still got to turn all the other side and take bits off the bottom. But if I put some sanding sealer on, you don't normally see that doing that with it stopped, do you? Neither. Well, what's going on here? Right. Sorry, dogs are just loops.
Yeah.
Buster chases pigeons, but they're flying over. They're not on the ground. You wouldn't go near them if they was on the ground. You'd be frightened of them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, just grab a few shavings if I can find any. Look at those.
Look how many.
Right. Okay. And as I've said before, the canoodle wax has to go on at a speed. Okay, so this is our one we've just done. So I have to take the small piece like that. This is quite a hard one. There. Try and get an even coat on it. Okay, and then I normally give it a little, first little buff with the shavings. That gets rid of that. And I've got a nice little bit of cloth here. Now I prefer a bit of like a big piece of old towel, piece of cloth than tissue. Tissue can tend to either fill up with it, it can grab on it if it sticks to it. Don't tend to happen a lot with this. It can get like stuck to it, but what you'll find is tissue will get clogged with it very quick, and it's just not good. I like a bit of rag. And you can see you don't get much come off. Tiny little bit comes off from there. And all we're doing now is shining the polish. Polishes, you don't shine the wood, and it doesn't go into the wood. You put the wax on, you want the wax to sit on top, and then you polish the wax. You shine the wax, you buff it. Okay? There you go. If it's got any to move, then you'd have to press quite hard and get it going, because to melt canoodle wax it takes a lot of heat. Right, and then we start to look, take it off like that. But now canoodle wax will go hard on the rag. It doesn't stay soft. Right, because we've pressed hard, see, I can take some of the shine away. It gives a beautiful finish. Look, you can see the finish on it. Yeah. Right, now if you want it shiny, like more shine on it, I don't like things overshine. If you want it more shiny than that, okay, or shinier than that, put another bit of wax on. Just don't press too hard, and just very lightly buff the wax, and it will shine. Okay, I'll show you. I'll do it quickly. Why not? This is what I'm more showing you about this. So I'm going to put another coat on. Okay, there I was there. Another coat of wax. Again, I'm going to do that the same. A little bit of shaving. Take the initial bit off, and now come in, and all I'm going to do is very lightly buff it like this. Not hardly touching, just buffing it. And then that way you'll keep this shine, okay? And you'll keep a glass-like shine. Me, that makes wood look like plastic. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Okay, so for me, I press a bit harder, get it to move a bit, like so, and then gentler, so soften up, lighten up, and just like this, just buffing it. Don't wrap that around your hand, just hold it like that. If it gets a catch, whoop, it'll just go.
Just like that.
Just like that. Right, there we go. Okay, that's the finish I would prefer. That it's got a nice shine to it, but it's not looking like plastic. I don't like wood that's got too much of a shine to it. It makes it look plasticky. Okay, and there you go. So that's the outside of a piece of firewood. Okay, you see the finish, right? Now I've got to take that off so I can see which way the grain's going, because the grain's run in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've shown you before, you can do it with a chisel, a hand chisel, or well, I've got one there somewhere, or like I say, I normally use my little skew, pop it on there, pop, and it's gone. Okay, and that's the easiest way. Rather than, you can't take it down too small because I was only held between centres. Okay, so that's that. Now I'll take the centre out. I'll tell you what, I'll get my chuck on and I'll bring you back. Right, okay guys, took the chance to grab a quick mouthful of coffee. It's quite warm today. Right, I've put that in my chuck. I'm just using one of my Axminster chucks. I've got the H, the gripper jaws. I love those jaws, they're fantastic, they are. Right, now we're going to hollow it, okay? And I'm going to use a few different tools just to show you the different tools, the way they do. Just help for a lot of new turners and that. New turners to carbide stuff. Carbide, this is where carbide is fantastic hollowing, and we have some good hollowers to use. Pretty much all do the same thing, they all hollow. It just depends on what you prefer. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start up, I'm going to start taking some cuts. Yes, that's a lovely. I much prefer this,
the less shiny
finish, the less shine. I don't like a really glossy plasticky looking shine. That's my preference, but as I showed you there, if you put a coat on, just take a very, very gentle, and all you're doing, you put the wax on and you even it with a little bit of pressure, but then just go gentle and you can just shine the wax that you've put on. It's the wax that shines, not the wood. Okay, so that's it. What?
Fingerprints as well.
Oh, the fingerprints, yes. Yes, the beauty with the Canuba wax, see, a lot of these other waxes you use, they're okay, but if you hold the pieces, you know, if you go to craft fairs, people will say to you, don't touch it, don't touch it. If you hold the pieces, they tend to, your heat from your hands will melt the wax and cause it to have fingerprints. That doesn't happen with Canuba wax, okay? Because Canuba wax, see, if you have a piece of beeswax, just beeswax, I do have a piece here, it's a little block like this. Right, if you have a piece of beeswax and you stand there and you do this with it, okay, like this, now that starts to soften up, and you'll start to get it on your fingers. If you sit there and do that with Canuba wax, you'll be here a bloody long time, because it doesn't melt at the same temperature. That's the beauty of Canuba wax. That's why I use it a lot, because pieces, then you ain't got to tell people don't touch something, it doesn't get fingerprints. You can handle that and handle it, it won't lose its shine, it won't dull, it won't get no fingerprints on it, it will keep that shine. The harder you make your wax, the better it will, the more resilient it will be. It's just the harder you make it, the harder it can be to put on, okay? Because obviously it doesn't spread, so you've got to be very careful. If you put a bit more here than you do there, it be a lot more awkward to get it together. Depends on what you're turning really, and the woods you're using. Some woods will really show it up, some woods you wouldn't even notice. But that's why I like Canuba wax, and that's why I use the mix I use. Right, now I'm going to start hollowing this. Right, okay, so using the carbide, like I said, you can use the standard carbides and all that. Now I think my,
is your battery going?
it's yeah, I think it's not sounding over strong. I'm going to change it, because otherwise I know what's going to happen. Within 5 minutes my battery's going to die on me. So I'll pop that one on charge. I've already got one here. I always have a battery living on charge. That sounds better.
Sounds better, yeah.
Right, okay. Right. So, if you're using your carbides, now I always say about the scraping, not scraping. Now, like I said, let's start that up. The initial thing is to just start doing this and going in here with a cut of flat, okay, like this. Now, a lot of people you will get, I'm a bit high there. Right, you do this and you get all these little bits and stuff. Now, the trouble with that is when you can get, one, you won't get a very good finish. And it's the chance of getting grabs, okay? And the reason it will grab with a round is because as you push in and you do this, you tend to find you've got a lot of cutter coming into contact with the wood in one go, okay? If you want to hog out the centre, I've said it all the time, the one for that, the quickest one for hollowing is the square, okay? Now you want to be above centre, okay? You can see there's centre down there, we're above, and then all you've got to do is come in. But with this you can control more how much. See, I'm not taking that much there, look, okay? And when you come to this bit here, all you got to do is go in with it at an angle like this. Don't worry about the pip in the centre. All you're doing is getting room to go in like this, and then you can just come to that centre and push on, okay? You don't have to worry if it touches the other side because it can't cut. It cannot catch, it can't cut, it can't do anything on the other side. It only cuts on this side. So if you go across centre, it won't flip your tool over, okay? It can't cut on that side of the wood, look. That's just going to bounce because it's not level. Okay? It can't cut. So it won't do that, which people have this impression that it will. Okay, so if you want to just, where the round comes in and the round starts cutting on a radius, the square, you can do a tiny bit like that. Okay, or you can take a bigger cut like that. And what you can do is you can take the bulk of it out very quickly, okay? Fantastic for hollowing. Don't go all the way, okay? You don't want to leave a load of tear out that you can't get rid of. Now, a lot of time, now if you have a bowl gouge, it can be the same sort of thing. Now, probably a lot of you will know, like Richard Raffin used an asymmetric grind, okay? And it gives this bottom wing that comes straighter, because it can be used for the same effect, like scraping. If I put that tool there, and I push in, let me just get it right there. If I push in and I keep it that way, all I'm doing is using this bottom wing here, exactly the same as the square cutter. Look, I'm pushing it in, and I can move lots of wood, but all I'm doing is scraping. It's going to blunt very, very quick. A bowl gouge, it should come in, rotate it, pick up the cut, and now if you see where that cut's coming on, the wood's coming down onto this here, and I'm slicing it, okay? I'm slicing the wood. As you come onto the bottom, open it completely and come across. Right, let me get that down in the middle. You don't want to come with it open into a tower. Don't leave anything up in the middle. Right, when you come there, look, flutes open, and you come across. Now, a lot of time people will keep it closed and come this way and push in. The trouble with that is when you're pushing there, the end grain's going like this and we're pushing into it, and it's actually coming down and it's being cut as a scraping mode. You'll get tear out on these edges here, okay, which is really hard to sand out. If you come across with it open, the fibres come down here like this and they slice on here, okay? So when they come in, they slice, okay? And that's how it works. Right, I'm just going to get rid of this. level that up a little bit. Right now, so that's with using a bowl gouge. The thing is with a bowl gouge, if you come down the side here, don't try doing it with your flute up, because if this side catches there, you'll get one almighty grab. It'll be go change your underwear. Bulb's probably gone somewhere in the workshop, and you will feel very cautious when you're turning. Okay, and you might even not want to turn. Right.
It has turned a lot of people off.
We don't want that to happen. Right, carbides. For hollowing, one of the best ones. If you're new, if you have a bit of trouble with maybe presenting the cutter at the right angles, then right, okay, SCH. Now we have a range of the SCH, don't we? We have so many different ones. Yeah. Right. The number SCH1. Now I've got this in my handle because I just don't have room to have more full length tools. Right. This one you just put it on. Okay. It sits at the correct angle. We come round here. We come on. And all we do is follow around. Don't put your hand on it. Right, hang on. First things first. We must be on centre. Right. So when I lay it parallel like that, that must fit on centre. Now if that wasn't on centre, that would go back there, okay? If it's below centre, it would try to go that way. Right. Come around, put it on. Do not put your hand on the tool rest, because that just doesn't work, okay? And don't over grip the tool. We come in here. As we start, all we do, we move the handle from this area, okay? We have to point that's the bevel there, and we have to point that in the direction that the cut's going to go in, okay? That's where it picks up the cut, okay? And now the handle's going to travel from there all the way around, okay? We can't be pushing in like this. Look, it won't do that, it can't cut, okay? So we come here, hand away, put your hand there to start your cut. It helps you to steady the tool. Start the cut, move your hand away, get it back. And as you notice, I just move myself away, okay? Next cut will take that bottom out. Okay, no grabbing, no catching, can't get a catch, impossible, catch free turning. Right, if you see as this comes across on that bottom, we're not cutting on this bit here, we are off the tip. That's why you must work off the tip, because the tip is at that angle there that it cuts. The grain is coming down and the grain is cutting on this bit here, okay? It mustn't come onto this bottom edge, because this is why you don't do this, okay? Because that is just, it's coming down on there as a scraper. If you want to come outwards, you must again get on the tip and come around with the tip. That way the side grain is cutting off of this edge that is already set for you, and that will give you a nice cut even coming out. But your way you should be going is this way. When you come to there, you just follow across to the middle, and that's it. That's the SCH1. Now we have the SCH, the little pit ball. Right now, you'll know a lot of people have a 6mm one, and they have one of these sort of tools, okay, that have this little bit in here for a 6mm. Okay, they're okay. Yeah, I did make them. I'm not making it other way. We're not going into that. Right, and you'll see everyone do this, and you can hear it, can't you? Yeah. You can hear what that's doing. Oh, it sounds horrible. Yeah. Okay, the finish will be horrible, and it will leave all ridges and everything in there. Right. Well, we've solved that problem firstly with you, because we put it onto an SCH chisel. And again the same, you just hold the bar flat, we come in here, we pick up our cut, we move our hand away from the tool rest, and we just go around.
And you see that nasty aggressive little cutter
Nasty, isn't it?
is suddenly tamed. Okay, and we just come in. These can work. I'm going slow to show you. These can work very fast. Okay, the little 6mm. I'm showing you all of these, so it helps you to make your. So I've done it before, but a lot of people haven't seen it. Now we have the SCH3. This has the 12mm cutter. Okay, the bigger one. Small bulb, but it doesn't matter. It still handles it fine. Now, the only thing with the SCH range, as I've always said, you must come right around here with your tool because this must face in. Okay, there we go. We pick up our cut and again we come round. That's a little bit high above centre. I'm just raising my handle. It's not the best. It should be dead on centre with these. Okay, and we can just play with that. If you've got that little bump there, don't try digging in here. You must go over it and come back and then take it. Okay, if you start the cut again here, you'll leave a line here. Okay, but that leaves us with a beautiful, I mean, I'll just show you I don't know what that's going to look like on the bottom anyway, the patterning. There's not a great deal of pattern, but you can see with our carbide, and I'm not doing over control with it or anything. Look, you can see the finish we've got a beautiful finish on that. Okay, right, if you're a bit more confident with the tools, then obviously we can go to the round bar ones, and let's see, like this is the 8mm hollower. Okay, as a little 8mm cutter. Now the beauty of going over to these, one, it will set you off a lot more, set you up a lot more for using a bowl gouge if you haven't gone to that stage yet, because it's exactly the same. So we come in and we do the same. Now I always say the best way with starting any cut here is to turn it off so it can't cut. That's easy. We can all come in and start our cuts like this, okay, and come in, but the trouble with that is sometimes you might come here and you get that little skip. You might have it slightly wrong and you'll get that catch. The easiest way for new turners, and if you want to have total catch free turning, this is the point I've got to make. This is so you never get a catch. Start your wood turning journey and finish your wood turning journey with never having a catch, and that would be an achievement. Right, okay, turn it off. Turning it off means just close it like that, so when I come on there, look, it can't do anything. It can't skip, it can't go anywhere, it can't cut, it can't do nothing. Put it on, okay, there. Rotate it. When I say rotate, all we're doing is we're doing this with our wrist. Okay, we're just throttling it back. Come back, right, there it is. Start our cut. I'm probably taking a bit of a, hang on, I'm taking a bit of a big cut there. Let me come off. Right, start our cut. There. Rotate. Now, how much we rotate will depend on how aggressive that cut gets, okay? So if I keep it there, it will be a fairly slow cut. Like that. Fairly slow cut. You can just hear that bevel on the end grain that's here, okay? You'll hear the bevel, but let me just show you, because even though we get that little bit of bevel bounce, look, that is a beautiful cut there, lovely and smooth, okay, all the way around there. It's a beautiful cut. Right, now back to where we was. So we're on here now. If you get this little bit of skip like that, you can see where you try to rotate it, start to want to do this skipping. What that is, if you was to be able to see here, my bevel's actually pointing that way because I'm not round far enough. I've got to be here. When I'm right round here, I can start the cut, rotate, it will come in, sorry, it will come in, and without any skipping. Now we're on here, we can't get no skipping. So now, rotate the tool. And the beauty with this one is as you get onto this bottom, we can open it up pretty much all the way and come across. Okay, and I'm going to do that in one pass in a minute, because I'm trying to talk to you. It's very awkward to maintain what's happening. But don't ever come in here with the cutter fully open. It will give you an almighty catch, same as a bowl gouge does. Okay, but when you come onto the bottom, we can open it up completely. I'm by there. That's probably why I'm having a bit of trouble, because I'm a bit high and I wasn't actually thinking about that, because I'm talking.
Yeah.
Right, when we come onto the bottom, when we open it completely like this, what we've got is those fibres coming across are coming down onto this edge, and they're just slicing. So we will get, even though I've been talking and we get a beautiful finish here. Okay, so now I've come in and take a proper cut. I've gone quite shallow on that bottom there at the moment, so I don't want to go through it, and I'm trying to show the different tools. There, like that. Right, so we will get this beautiful, absolute beautiful finish off of those carbides. Look at that. Let me take that out, look. You'd think I'd already sanded that. It's absolutely beautiful in there. Okay, and that's how we can get with these AU cutters, because as we come in, like I said, we turn it off. But the hard bit with these is we've got a very, very slight bevel there. Okay, it's literally 5 degrees, and when you're here, you've got to have the tool right over here, so the bevel's pointing where you're going to go. If the bevel's there, it will cause it to skip. You can put a bit more pressure behind it to stop that happening and get it started. Once you're into the wood, you're fine. Now the other way is to just do a little cut that way, gives you a little shelf, then stick your bevel on, then you can rotate and there's no skipping whatsoever. Again, catch free turning. How can I do this without getting a catch? That's how. So rotate and follow around. As we get down to this point, we can open the flute. As we come into cutting, you can see where the grain goes here. Okay, we come onto here, we're pushing into end grain, and this is where you tend to get those annoying bits of tear out that you can't get rid of. That's because when you come down, you actually push in, you're pushing into that little bit of end grain. You mustn't push into it. You've got to rotate the tool, open it up so that it slices on that bit. Okay, start that up. That's where the beauty, I should say, and I always like, is with a spindle gouge, because now a spindle gouge, again, we can start our cut by coming in. There's our cut. We rotate. Now with a spindle gouge over a bowl gouge is the fact that we've got a lot less wing here. Okay. So with that, so Lisa's telling me her batteries that she seems to think she's not allowed to speak when she's in here. She can just say to me, my battery's gone, and I'm stepping back, you know, but she does this mime and I ain't got a bloody clue what it is that she's trying to tell me. Okay,
I'm doing all sorts of symbols.
so she can just say my battery's gone, and the other one's just gone on charge.
You just put on charge. So I'm just going to stand back.
She's standing back out the way at the moment. She's not by the camera. Right. So the beauty with a spindle gouge is when we get onto this point, we can have our flute open quite a bit without getting any catching. And as we come onto the bottom, we can have it open. Now, see where this is cutting? I'm going into the end grain, and we're slicing on this bit here, and it's slicing the wood. Okay. I just left that little mark there, there we go. And it's slicing that wood. Like so. And because we're slicing on that, we get no grabbing, no catch. We don't need massive big tools and holding on like this. All we need is tool control. And when you've got that little bit of tool control, we can come round. Again, if I need to pick up just here, where it gets a bit thicker, need to pick up the cut, just close it, come back, let it drop in, rotate it, pick it up, and away we go. And we get an absolute beautiful finish every time. No tear out in these quarters here. Right, now, what about, I can hear you all say, our standard flat carbides. Okay, small bow, I'm going to use the 9mm. Is that you can do it with a 12, it's easier to show you with the 9. Again, we're going to come on with it closed. Right, now closed, again, there's not a flute, so it makes it a bit awkward to say close the flute because there ain't one. But when I say closed, that's closed, okay? If I put that on there, look, it cannot do anything. It can move about, but it can't cut nothing. I'm moving it, look, it can't cut nothing. Right, so close it. If you do that way, it's going to go bang and give you a catch. Right, come on. Now, first of all, let me say, you can come in and pick up your cut here, like this. What you've got to watch here is there's a tendency, as you move the tool round, your cut will climb from centre to there. Once it gets past centre, it will pull it over. Now, there's no problem with it being over because you can cut like that. But when it grabs it there, it's got no bevel control. Unsupported cut will want to dive in and you'll get an almighty bang and your bowl will disappear. Okay, so close it, put it on. There, you can see how it's just going to start to make that little cut. Yeah. Right, the other way is you can put a little cut like that. You've got somewhere for your bevel to go. Right, rotate. And as we come round, as we come to this bit on our bottom, we mustn't open it too much because we're going to a scrape. But we've got to open it a little bit to come around the bottom. We can't go around the bottom with it at this angle, okay? So, we open it a little bit, right? Here, we come around this bottom. As we come around the bottom, on here we maintain this angle, but what we're doing right there, our bevel's in contact with the wood, okay, and we're cutting again off the tip. We're not cutting on the side here, we're on this tip, and the tip must maintain that angle so the wood comes down here, okay, and slices on that tip. We're going into end grain, remember. We can't open how you would with others because that would just go into a scrape and it would scrape on it and you'll get tear out. So as we come down, we maintain that angle and we come across with the tip, and it's the tip that will do the cutting. Right, I let that jump across, so I'll just come off a bit, so there, see, like so. And we can come across, okay? Now, because I'm going so slow, I've built up a lot of sawdust in there. If I'm going so slow, I'm sitting too long in one place, so I'm getting bevel rub, if you like. So with that, again, you put the tool on there, okay? Come back, rotate, pick up the cut, and come across. And that's all you have to do, okay? And that's how we use them. But in all honesty, the best tools for doing it are the SCH range, the hollowing. And we'll make this our last cut. We're coming now and clean the whole thing up with one pass with our SCH 3. Just play with that on the bottom. I've got just a raised bit there. There we go. There. And that is it, and that's all we have to do. And here it's already set for you. Just put it there and push it forward, and that will clean up your edge there. Drop the handle down and come here, and that will clean up your edge out there because it's slicing. Okay, no scrapes. and that's how we will finish that off. Okay, and then we'll do a little sand on it again. I'll just use, oh, it's there, 240, 180 there, look. So we'll just start off with a 180 grit, so I can get these bits of move off to there. There. You can see how little that's going to be, and I'm only doing a very little bit because Lisa hasn't got her face shield. She's standing over there. She's got her mouth covered. There we go, that's going to do it. I'm not going to do too much because, like I said, Lisa's in here unprotected at the moment. Right, that is that. I'll turn that off, get rid of that. A little bit of sand and speeder on that. Right, I hit the stop button, I come in and I give a quick little... Right, and that is it. You don't have to put tons of this on. I've got a little bit of a... I need to just take a little pass on that front, I think. But it's so... Look, this is a demonstration piece. It's okay. You can see that finish, look. You can see that finish in there, look. We've got no tear out, we've got nothing. We've gone through all those different tools, okay? And you can see there's no tear out in those bottoms. Lovely. Right, that is it with the sanding sealer. You don't have to put tons of time. Remember, it's what it's called, a sealer. We want to seal the wood, so we don't want it all to go soaking. We want it actually to seal the surface of the wood. Then we can put our wax on it. If we don't do that, our wax will keep soaking in and will go dull. I didn't actually get all that cleaned up on that because I just took some cuts, but I'm not worried about it because, like I said, this is just a demo piece. Right, I've got my Canuba wax. I'm going to turn that on again. A little denib. That just denibs it because the sanding sealer will cause fibres to raise. And then my wax, here we come. Cut that a little bit off. Nice and even. There we go. Hardly uses anything. It's nice and hard. This mix. Take the initial off. Okay. And then we can just do a little buff if we want it to look like plastic. I'm a Barbie bowl in a Barbie world. Right, and there, look, okay, yeah. We can have that, if you like glass finish, okay, so you can do that if that's your thing, okay. It's not my thing, so quite simply I don't have to change or do anything. I just come in and put a little bit more pressure on it just to get it to move a bit more, okay, and then lighten up the pressure, just lighten it up. Still get a nice shine, still get a nice looking piece, but it don't look like plastic. And there you go, that's our finish, okay. So I probably should have, let me take my face shield off. I'm going to have to sort of stop on the turning because, like I say, Lisa has not got any protection here, okay. She's riding bareback. But I'm looking for something here. Chucky.
Oh yeah, Chucky.
Right, now my next thing would be just to take the bottom off. You've all seen me do that so many times. Okay, I'll just pop it into one of my various whatever chucks, wooden ones or whatever, soft jaws over here. It might fit, yeah, it would actually probably fit in my soft jaws there, but I'm not worried. It's not a piece I'm keeping. All I want to show you is that finish, okay.
I'll show it at whatever angles I can get it at. I'm not trying to hide nothing. We have absolutely no tear out. That final cut was done with a carbide. Okay, we took cuts with all the different tools there, all the different carbides, just to show you how they all work. Ignore this bit on this rim. I should have taken a couple of cuts on that. I didn't really bother doing the rim because it's not about the bowl. The outside is still beautiful. Okay, all around it, and that inside, look, and you see it as quick as that. Okay, you can do the whole of that hollowing with any of the SCH range. They'll all do it. You can do it with the standard. You can do it. It's all down to what you like to do, what you prefer. Okay. For me, I can only suggest you do it with all of them. You have all of them, and that way you learn to use everything. But whether you want to do traditional, whatever, that's it. And for a quick and easy finish, that, you know, you haven't got to have that on your store at a craft fair, and that's for putting like keys and change in, and that Canuba wax will blast well even if you're putting coins and stuff in there, because it's a really hard finish. But you haven't got to say to people, don't touch it please, or anything like that. You can let them, yeah, you can pick up, you can handle it, go on, that's all right. And you can see, I can touch, look, I'm touching that, it's only just gone on, and it's not dulling, there's no fingerprints coming, it's not doing it, it's not harming it in any way, shape or form. That's the beauty of Canuba wax. Let's save the Canuba tree. Or whatever.
Tree.
that's the
Actually, what
beauty.
is Canuba?
Canuba wax. Don't start getting. I'm not getting into all that biochemistry stuff. I told you that.
No. You ain't got PhD.
If you want to know about it, just read the packet. So there you go, guys. That is it anyway. Okay, and that's how I make my Canuba wax. And yeah, if I'll just finish that bottom off, like I said, I'm not saying, but that would make lovely little craft fair. Says keep a bit of weight in it, because remember, if you're going to go and put your change in it, you don't want something that's going to, yeah, and you want to be able to get your change out by just going like that, didn't you? Yeah. You know, pop into the shops, love. Enough there for a couple of points. Being chained not nowadays.
No.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, you need notes.
Have you got a credit card? I want to go for a couple of pints.
Take a mortgage.
Yeah. Right, okay guys, that is it, I'm afraid. No finished items. That's that. Done. I'll see you on the next one. Lisa's going to turn that light out now. Yeah. It's blinding me.
Blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light.
Yep,
that's it. Yep. Right, and thank you very much for that light. It's come in very handy.
Yeah.
That, John?
Thank you, John.
Yeah. Right, okay guys, that is it. And I'm still handling it, and look, it's still, look, all this handling like this with my dirty grubby hands, right? And look, it's still beautiful, absolutely beautiful, as the day I made it with my own fair lily white hands. Look at that. Hey, there we go. Right, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Toodle pip, fare thee do wells, and enjoy the heat wave we've got coming.
Yeah, oh my god. Right, bye guys.